Hello. Uh, the presentation about midterm assessment for November 2024 batch. The topic is red wine quality analysis. Author Pranay Joshi, submitted on 8 December 2024. The problem statement here is we have been given a red wine quality data which consists of five variables and one output variable. The five variables are citric acids, chlorides, total sulfur dioxide, the pH level, alcohol, and the output is the quality of the wine. The disclaimer, I'll be using the template.r file which is already given with the problem statement. It is easier to use the template file. The first question is to understand the data. Before for any analysis, it is always better to understand the data. To understand, we are reading the red wine.txt file, the data file that is already given to us, keeping my seed and loading the subset, loading the variables. The most important part of any data analysis is to look at the input and output data correlationship, and the best way to do is using the scattered plots. I used a for loop to print the scattered plots, and looking at the scattered plots, I can definitely say that the citric acid and the chlorides values are not that significant. Alcohol does has a correlationship with the quality, and other two pH and total sulfur dioxide has kind of a mid level of correlationship. The other graph that is asked is the histogram, which is one of the important graph. It tells us how the data is distributed. It helps us to understand whether the data needs to be transformed, is there any skewness in the data, and other thing, and that's why it is I have used this graph. Looking at both the scattered plot and the histogram, I came to a decision that I can drop the citric acid column, and that's why you can see here I had used C2, 2, 3, 4, 5 as my input column and 6 is my output column. I'm using reference as RCampaign and corresponding packages for some data transformation and some plotting of some graphs. These are the two functions that are already given with us in the template file. I'm using the same functions. The question 2 is the transforming the data. After looking at the different histograms, it's important to transform the data, and the easiest way to transform the data is by plotting the data and looking at the data and transforming it. So for the second column, I used square root transformation, and I tried to use the Z unit and the min max, and I realized that min max is better. We can see that using the graph plotted here. The min max is giving me 0 to 1 value. The Z index gives me 0 to 1.5. For any data transformation, we need a data transform data between 0 to 1. That's why in this case, min max is better. Similarly, I use the transformation for column 3 and 4. You can look at the graph. Graphs will tell us the similar picture. Here, how the data is transformed from one place to another place, and we can see that the data is again between 0 to 1, and that's why I used corresponding transformation for column 5 and column 6, which is column 6 is an output column. Looking at the graph, you know what kind of data I used here again. Wrote the data to the file pranaytransform.txt. Question 3, building the models. We have been given a source file. I included that source file, and I read that input transformed data and fed the data with a different transformed model and calculated the weights. And the weight I have added here for each of the transformed model. The input, new input that is given to us, we have to transform the input. It's the exactly same thing the way we have transformed our in earlier inputs, continuing with the input for different columns. Okay, once we did the exactly same transformation, now I have to use which model. Looking at the different models, I can see that RMSA, root mean square error value of ordered weighted average is the least, and that's why I'm using that model to fit my data. And once I did that, I transformed using that particular thing. The sort was not required, I just added it, and after transforming it, I got the pH value as, sorry, predicted value as 7. I use this as a references, and thank you.